All right, I am here with my good friend Tiffany. I'm so excited. I get the honor and pleasure of seeing her beautiful face twice a week, every week, in our group
Yes.
together that we rock out in Rock Stars Rising. And so I call her a fellow rock star. Tiffany is a body language expert, and she's joining us here in our group today just to share a little bit about her journey coming to this place and give us a few little teasers about body language and commanding the bedroom.
Yes.
Yeah, welcome. So excited to do this with you.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
tell me, Tiff, like what's kind of your story? Like what brought you into this whole world of body language?
I'm going to make a really long story as short as I can because it really happened coincidentally. I mean, I went to school for communication and culture, so I've always been interested in that. And people always thought I was quiet, but I've always been super just observant, not really knowing everything that it meant, but I've just always been somebody who's been super observant, super careful about how I speak to people. Like even if I'm just hanging out and having fun, I'm still, that's just in my DNA. And a couple years ago, when I was an executive assistant, my boss said, find a conference you want to go to, because he was really big on personal development and growth. And so I went to this conference in Florida, and our keynote speaker was Janine Driver. And when I say I was mesmerized, I sat there, I mean, she had us laughing and crying and then learning so much. And it was like, all of a sudden, everything just clicked. Mm-hmm. It was like, this is something that I love. This is what I get. Like, this is for me. And I stood in line for 2 hours, which is something I don't normally do, just to get her to, one, to sign my book, but then to meet her. I wanted her to see my face. I wanted her to know me. And things just kind of took off from there. We met and we chatted for a bit. We exchanged information. Long story short, I kind of became her assistant, but then one of the speaking gigs we were supposed to do kind of fell through. And so I actually got certified through her and her Body Language Institute. And then everything just took off from there. I started traveling with her and we were speaking and doing all kind of things. And it just grew and it grew. And then I kind of took it and transformed it into what I have now. It is just something that is so empowering for women, because I noticed that when I went back to work after I got certified, everybody was like, you seem different. Not in a bad way. It's like, you seem different. You seem happier. And it was like, because I learned how to walk in a room and make you pay attention to me. And so that has just kind of been, that's how it is, the short story of how it happened.
You know what? That's so cool. I gotta say I'm super jealous of that, because I have had so many times that I'm like, I just want I want a mentor. I just want someone to like take me under their wing and teach me their, and to have it so aligned and like just feel so perfect. It's like what I call alignment of purpose, right? It just feels like this is me. This is where I'm supposed to be. Right. So good.
Yeah, it really did. It really did.
Cool. So tell me, like, I know that you love to work with women, and so do I. So tell me what's the passion there, like, behind working with women?
The passion with working with women is, I've noticed and I've observed over like my short time here on earth, just that women, we are never made to feel extremely valuable. We're not taught to speak for ourselves or to really stand up for ourselves. And when we do, we're called the bitch, we're called this, we're called that. Versus if a man walks into a room and sits down in a chair like this, nobody thinks twice about it, but this is a taking up space. This is, I am confident in me. So I tell women, don't be afraid, unless you got on a skirt, don't gap your legs open, but like, don't be afraid to take up space, to like prop one leg up, to show that you are in the room, you are present, and you are owning it. And it just translates into everything from work to home life to dating. That's a really big one. And just knowing how to trust that little voice inside of us. Women, we don't like to pay attention to that inner voice, because like, oh, I don't want to seem mean. I don't want to seem rude. So the things that I teach kind of reinforce what your inner voice may be saying, but I show you what it looks like on the outside. Maybe when somebody is being deceptive, when they're not telling the truth. I'll give you one little hint. So like if you ask somebody, let's say you're talking to your kids, you're a teenager who, if we weren't in COVID and all this, and they come home from school and you ask them, how was your day today? And they're like, oh, my day was good. So a shoulder shrug, which is what I just did, the shoulder shrug means uncertainty. So what you want to look for when people are doing these things is like the contradiction. So if you're telling me the school was fine, but then you're doing a shoulder shrug, that's kind of your cue to like dig a little bit deeper, ask a couple more questions. And if you may find out that maybe they're getting bullied in school, maybe they're struggling in math or in reading, or something else is going on. So it's just kind of a cue to dig a little bit deeper, to really get to the truth of what's going on with somebody.
Yeah, I can like see and he's not a teenager, he's almost 10, but he's like that. He's like, I don't know, like all the time. I don't know. I guess.
And a lot of times it is just they don't know. So if somebody says, I don't know, and they shoulder shrug, that matches. So for example, if you say, let's say you're thinking about in the house, what do you want to eat for dinner? And your spouse says, oh, I don't know, whatever. That could really mean they don't know. They don't have a particular taste for anything, or if they say, whatever you want.
I totally see the difference.
Right?
Like I'm ignoring what's going on inside, basically, is what it is.
Right. It's like they're saying whatever you want, but deep down they want a chili cheese dog and some French fries.
Yeah. And like I'm afraid to own it, right? I just, those two words I absolutely love, own it. I don't know if you remember any of those old Dove commercials where there's like, it's the whole philosophy or the backbone of it is like, own it, own who you are. It doesn't matter what size you are, what color you are, whatever, like just own it.
Yeah.
There's a girl walking out and she picks her wedgie at the pool. It's like my favorite.
Right. That's something that women, we're taught to own ourselves in a particular way, and the moment you kind of step outside of that, it's looked upon as in a different light. When women do it. So that is where ultimately the passion comes with working with women. I want women to feel empowered. I want them to feel like they know when somebody is being honest, or at least have an idea when, hey, maybe something's a little off here. Because we like I said, we ignore that voice. But if you have the voice telling you that, then I teach you a long list of things that say, hey, if somebody does this, this, or this, it could mean that they're not being truthful. Now you've got some reinforcement to listen to that voice.
So good. And like totally so aligned with what I do as well, like just helping women to reconnect with themselves. And like I said, those two words, own it, like just own who you are. Like this is the gift, this is you, right? So good.
Right.
Tiff. So we have this workshop coming up on Thursday, and it's called Command the Bedroom, and I'm already registered because this is definitely, I think I even registered twice, but this is definitely an area of my life where I have struggled, and I was thinking about it this morning, actually, knowing that we were going to be chatting, and I was thinking about how much has evolved for me in this particular department, and how like closed off I was initially, and I've been married for, I don't even know how many years. I don't know, I think we've been together for 13 years. And when I think back to like my teenage years, and I don't even know if this is what you cover, but I was so not me, right? I just let people do, like men do what they wanted to do. And I didn't feel confident to say no, to tell them what I wanted. And, and it created such a barrier for me in the bedroom, so that like now that I'm in this much more empowered, confident place, it's like now I can say no, and I almost find myself wanting to say no just because I can, like just because I can own that. Right. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah,
it's like, even though it may be something that you want, you're like, I just want to say no because I can.
Yeah, which is so hard to navigate right now, and I know it's frustrating for my husband, my poor husband, but so I would love to hear, like, just give us a little teaser about what this is going to be, because I can guarantee I'm not the only one who has some struggles in the bedroom, and I've had like so many conversations with girlfriends, and we've said like, having sex is like working out. It's like you never really want to do it, but once you do it, you feel good after. Or my mom and her girlfriends are like, one of her girlfriends says, just cover me up when you're done, dear. I'm like, I
Oh
don't
no,
want to get to that point in my life at all.
no. I'm not gonna let you get there.
Yeah,
No.
now tell me what you got. Tease us a little here.
Right. So the command the bedroom it's not just about like sex, because I don't want people to think where I'm coming in there, we're talking about sex positions. This is not even really, this is not that. I mean, that may be later. That's another class.
Yeah.
But this is about knowing how to command what you want using your words and your body, because those two things go hand in hand. So just even bringing up, so let's say, for example, you want your husband to do something different, So instead of learning how to ask for it without it coming off as, without you either being afraid to ask for it or without it seeming overpowering, So how to ask for it in a sexy way, So one of the things that I'm going to talk about in the class is exposing the neck, Exposing the neck is something that the neck is a very vulnerable spot. So and this all speaks to the subconscious when you expose the neck. So let's say you're talking to your husband and you're thinking, I want to try a different position. And you say, let's do a different position because I don't like the other one. And you're just looking at him and he's like, well, okay, that was kind of aggressive, maybe. Versus the thing I'm going to teach you. Right, exactly. Like, well, never mind. Like, what does she want to do to me? Versus what I'm going to teach is you can say the same thing, just change the tone of your voice and change your body a little bit. So, like I said, let's do something different tonight. He's like, okay, well, like what? Versus, so I was thinking maybe we do something different tonight. Same thing.
I'm in, Tiff.
But that second one feels totally different, right?
Yeah.
So he's gonna be like, whatever you want, take it off. Let's go. So I mean, it's just changing your tone, changing your bodies, knowing that it's like the neck is just a super important part, and it sends a message of vulnerability. So you're asking the same question, but by tilting your head, exposing the neck, changing the tone in your voice a little bit and kind of softening up your face, it comes across totally different. Same exact question, but the second one, don't you think that second one was a little bit better?
Oh, yeah. Totally.
You'd be more eager to be like, yeah.
Honestly, I can't wait. I cannot wait. I like for what you have. I mean, I've watched some of your Instagram stuff and your podcast, and I'm like, this girl knows her shit. And like, it makes me super excited because this has definitely been like an area of my life I have shied away from and like left to last. Like I've done so much work personally, but this is the one part I'm like, I'm not sure I'm ready to touch it. And
right. And a lot of women are, and for whatever reason, even growing up, like even being a plus size woman, for me, when it came to sex, and this is, I don't know if I've got some other issues to work through, but I always liked seeing their reaction to things. So I was never the one who was just like, I'm gonna lay there, you do whatever you want, let's get it over with. It was like, no, baby, I want to see you squirm. I want to see you be like, oh yeah, all of that. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to bring out now that I have the knowledge and the skills to teach other people.
So good. Oh
yeah, it's gonna be great. I can't wait.
Me neither. I even told my husband last night in the shower, I was like, so I have this workshop on Thursday, and he was like, like, another one. And I'm like, no, this one's called Command the Bedroom. I'm like, dude, this is gonna be good. Like, so good for us.
Yes.
So just remind us what time and how we can register, and we'll make sure we put that in the comments here, and like tell us how else we can all find you on social media and wherever else.
Yeah, so my Instagram is Truth Teller Online, and if you go to my Instagram page, the link to register is actually on my page, and I'll send you the link too so we can post it.
Cool.
Yeah, so you'll just go to Eventbrite, you'll hit register, and you'll get the link to the Zoom, and we'll be ready to go.
Sweet.
It's going to be so fun. My hope is that women will leave this feeling just a little bit more empowered than they did before the hour started.
I guarantee
I don't expect people to be ready to go for handcuffs and whips and all of that. I mean, if that's your thing, there's another class for that. But yeah, like I just want women to like feel empowered without, because women, when they think of empowerment in the bedroom, they immediately go to like the BDSM world and all of that. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but you don't necessarily have to go to that level to feel empowered. It's a simple shift in how your partner responds to it will make you feel so much better, so much more empowered. And then you never know, you may want to try out a whip or a handcuff or something.
You never know. Those
You
toys
never
in the
know.
nightstand might make another appearance in our life.
They bring them out.
I cannot thank you enough. This is so good. I know the women in this group are going to get such a kick out of this video, and like, just,
Yeah, I can't wait.
you have so much to offer. So I really encourage people to register and to check this out. Thank you so much, Tiff.
Thank you so much. This was so fun. I can't wait to see you guys.